$50 a barrel of oil this year. You know, there's a lot of action in place. The border's closed 96% in 6 or 7 weeks. It's an extraordinary time, but I have got an action-packed show for you today, and I want to welcome our first guest and get right to it. We have Wyoming State Senator Bo Biteman, who's the president of the Wyoming State Senate. A lot going on there. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, sir.
Yeah, it's great to meet you. And everybody is always interested in what goes on in states like Wyoming and Utah. You know, they're not always front page stories, right? But you are groundbreaking. What's going on there? You have a conservative majority in the House. You've got a popular governor. I think Mark Gordon's pretty popular, right? And you guys have accomplished so much. Tell us about what's going on.
Well, David, we consider us the tip of the spear for President Trump and MAGA. Right now, we've got, like you said, we finally got a majority in the House. We have a majority in the Senate, and we have a Republican governor. So we're able to drive the agenda now. In just a quick 38-day session here in the 2025 Wyoming session, we were able to cut property taxes by the biggest amount in state history. Wow. We passed a landmark school choice bill, $7,000 ESA scholarship for every student in the state of Wyoming. We got rid of DEI. We kicked men out of women's bathrooms. We defined what a woman is. We passed pro-life legislation. You name it, we did it. We repealed gun-free zones, and on and on and on. And we're fighting to make Wyoming energy dominant again. We need President Trump's help. We need the help from the Department of Interior and the DEQ to take the regulations off Wyoming so we can mine and drill, baby, drill.
Well, on top of that, you also have universal school choice. I'm very excited about Trump's energy policy with these small module nuclear reactors, bringing back large reactors on line, the natural gas exportation, suspending the Jones Act, exporting to Asia. And energy is huge, a little mini boom coming in Oklahoma maybe. And I hope Wyoming's right there with it, because we are going to be, we are already the number one energy producer, but this is going to be great news for our economy. But let's get into the issue at hand here. Wyoming, you enacted the first voter ID law requiring proof of citizenship at all levels of government. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's exciting. We finally had the opportunity to pass a bill, get it on the governor's desk for him to sign. It requires proof of U.S. citizenship to register to vote. Now, our Constitution in Wyoming specifically lays out you have to be a U.S. citizen to be a qualified elector, but the technicality and the devil was in the details. When it came down to voter registration forms, those weren't checked. So we closed the loophole, and we gave our great Secretary of State all the tools he needs now for rulemaking authority to make sure that only U.S. citizens are voting and registering to vote in the great state of Wyoming. And it dovetails perfectly with what President Trump was just able to do a couple days ago with his executive order.
Have you seen opposition? Is it being challenged in the courts? Tell us about what's going on there.
We haven't seen any yet. The effective date for the law is July 1st, so I'm assuming if there's going to be a challenge, it'll be then. You can almost guarantee that the left will challenge any law like this that makes it harder for people to cheat, since that seems to be their MO. But we are very confident we are on very solid constitutional footing here.
So tell us about, so the presidential election went for Donald Trump in Wyoming. Was there a mandate in your state, not just in the presidential win, but at the state level to move these policy agendas forward?
Oh, absolutely, David. The Trump mandate swept everybody into office the last time around. We had a wave election here in Wyoming with conservatives and America First Republicans winning up and down the slate, and it was all thanks to President Trump. And so the voters that sent them to office are expecting results, and we are trying to deliver on all those mandates. And I think we were very successful this first legislative session in. I think it was a resounding success, and I'm looking forward to next year already.
Yes, and so you're the first state to require proof of citizenship at all these levels. And it demands that you're a resident, for 30 days. There was talk that it may conflict with the requirement in the Wyoming Constitution and federal law. Tell us about that.
Yeah, there is we have a constitutional requirement it says a 1 year, but those have been struck down by the courts throughout the country. So the 30 days comes in, and it's something that the courts have been a lot more, shall we say, okay with, that 30 days. That's where we came up with that. The governor used that as a reason for not signing the bill. He let it go into law without his signature, but he was concerned about that. But again, I'm confident that the 30-day residency requirement is perfectly within our ability to regulate via statute.
Yeah, I wanted to just ask you, Bill Maher, not exactly a conservative, has been attacking his own group, his own people, by saying that the days are numbered for the Democratic Party. And by 2030, you have states like Minnesota, Illinois, Rhode Island, Oregon, California, New York, all losing congressional seats to states like Texas, Idaho, Utah, and Florida, which will gain seats. Have you seen the similar influx like Nevada is experiencing in other states of Californians relocating or people from blue states into Wyoming? And is that part of the resounding change?
We have seen the huge influx, especially after COVID. People voted with their feet, David. So we had Californians, people from Oregon, Washington, blue states from back east, Illinois, fleeing to states like Wyoming. That's why our property values went through the roof, because people were buying up property left and right. But what we saw were these were political refugees that picked Wyoming for a reason. They picked us because we're what America used to be. We're a free state, and we have economic freedom and personal liberty, and that's what they desire, and that's why they voted with their feet and arrived here. So some of my biggest supporters now are people that moved here from other states that never thought they'd be able to vote for a guy like me for their state senate.
I haven't been to Wyoming yet. It's one of the few states I haven't been to. I was near there in the South Dakota, west of Rapid City. It's beautiful country. I remember a lot of the young crowd would come in from Wyoming to go to the bars in Rapid City when I was there. South Dakota. Tell us about really quick about the economy there, and what are your key industries?
Our economy is set to explode. We sit on trillions of tons of coal, natural gas, oil, uranium, rare earth metals, everything that this country needs to be energy dominant and energy secure. And we're on the precipice of a uranium boom here in Wyoming. We have a world-class uranium deposit here. So all we need is the feds to just let us go and let us mine and let us produce oil and gas out here, and the Wyoming economy is just going to flourish.
Yeah, and I'm sure you'll be working with Doug Burgum and the Interior Secretary,
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah,
they're great people, and Kathleen Sagama, the BLM nominee, she's great. I had her in my office last month, and she's ready to hit the ground running and clear all the regulatory underbrush that's been accumulating for the last decades.
Yeah, I mean, I heard horror stories in Utah about BLM under the Biden administration, and I think there's a sea change maybe in the attitude in the federal government right now. We have about a minute.
Yeah, no, I think that's key. It's going to come from Washington, unfortunately, because half of our state's controlled by the federal government. Most people don't realize that 69% of Wyoming's minerals are controlled by the federal government. So we're kind of stuck at the whims of Washington, D.C. and who's in power at the time. So we're really excited about President Trump's new administration and all the appointments he's made.
All right. That's great. I want to thank you so much for coming on, everybody. Wyoming Senator Bo Biteman from the 21st District. You're also the president of Wyoming State Senate. Big changes in Wyoming. It's exciting stuff. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Best of luck. Everybody, I got a great show again. I got Dave Walsh coming up. I've got my friend Ricky Manor. He's a podcaster. You're going to like this guy. And I got Bruce DeTorres, Director of Communications of the Small Business League, about the Department of Education and where the responsibilities are going to shift to in other agencies. Don't go anywhere. Thank you so much for watching Breaking Point on Real America's Voice News. And everybody, get on like the Getter chat, right? GETTR. Sign up for Getter. Go to @RealAMVoice and find Breaking Point Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. and join us on the chat. And I want to thank you again for watching. As countries around the world move away from the U.S. dollar, get gold today for 5,000 years. Gold has withstood inflation, geopolitical turmoil, stock market crashes, and the great news is you can still get it. You can own gold and silver in a tax-sheltered retirement account. Birch Gold makes it easy to convert your IRA or 401k into an IRA in precious metals. Just text the word America to 989898 to claim your free info kit on gold. 20 years experience in converting these IRAs and 401ks into precious metal IRAs. Birch Gold can help you today. Protect yourself today. Text the word America to 989898, an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Thousands of happy customers and countless 5-star reviews. Secure your future with gold today. Start today with your free info kit. There's no obligation. Text the word America to 989898 today.
The FBI calls it house stealing, the latest scam where a cyber thief transfers the title of your home out of your name and steals your hard-earned equity.
It's roughly 60 to 90 days for that person to even figure out that they're the victim of this crime. You start getting foreclosure notices and you realize you've got 4 mortgages on your house that you didn't even know existed.
Unfortunately, it's on you to protect yourself. You might already be a victim. Check your title status now at HomeTitleLock.com.
Your wallet is always in danger. Criminals can scan and hack your information without you even knowing. Worse yet, it's bulky and so disorganized. But not anymore, because Slim is in. Introducing Slim Mint, an ultra-thin RFID blocking wallet that keeps your cards and cash truly protected. And now may be your last chance to get it for a low price. Slim Mint uses the latest RFID blocking technology to prevent thieves from scanning your wallet and stealing your info.
Having your information stolen is a nightmare, but with Slim Mint, I know I'm protected.
With money clips, cash can easily fall out, but with the auto-locking Slim Mint, your cards and money stay securely in place. Then just press the button to release the lock. Slim Mint is ergonomically designed to optimize space and keep your belongings organized. It has a built-in cash clip and a flexible outer band to securely fit your additional cards and your extra cash. Even with everything you see here in the Slim Mint, it's still ultra-thin. Bulky wallets are uncomfortable, but the Slim Mint is so compact it fits in any size pocket. Plus, it keeps everything easy to access.
Slim Mint holds everything from pictures to credit cards, my driver's license, yet it's still so thin.
Say bye-bye to bent cards and damaged magnetic strips. Slim Mint keeps them protected. It's crush resistant and can really take a beating. Similar wallets sell for over $100. But call or click now and get Slim Mint for just $29.99. Order in the next 5 minutes and you'll get an instant $10 discount. So it's only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get Slim Mint at this low price. There's a strict limit of 3 Slim Mint wallets while supplies last. You still have time to get your very own Slim Mint wallets, but you must act fast. Don't wait, order now.
Call 1-800-608-6630. That's 1-800-608-6630. Call or visit slimmintwallet.com. So call 1-800-608-6630 now.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Call now and get this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers, from a leading financial firm on maximizing your income in retirement. And if you call right now, as a bonus, we'll throw in a free annuity rate report. Don't miss out on this opportunity because supplies are limited. Both books are yours free, just for calling Annuity General today.
Call 800-899-6246.
Welcome back, everybody. You are watching Breaking Point. It's like you need a personal assistant, even as an average American, to follow the amazing news cycle going on, flooding the zone, Donald Trump, so many things in play here, trying to save the American taxpayer money. Department of Education's only been around since 1979. Trump trying to dismantle it. It's there's a lot going on, but remember, only 10% of the schools in America get their money from the Department of Education. And I think a lot of that is administrative cost. And who's going to handle it if the DOE doesn't? Well, and we have an expert on with us, Bruce Tatoros. He's the Director of Communications for the American Small Business League. He's going to break it all down for us and educate the audience on where these responsibilities will go. Welcome, Bruce.
Thank you very much, David. Nice to be here.
It's great to have you. Look forward to your knowledge. Tell us about the American Small Business League and the purpose.
Certainly. Our founder and president is Lloyd Chapman. For almost 40 years, he has been suing many agencies of the federal government to get the truth about the small business contracts that are supposed to go to small businesses, and they are going to Fortune 500 companies, actually some of the biggest companies in the world. That's our focus, is to get the SBA to steer small business contracts to legitimate small businesses, meaning 23% of all federal contracts, David, are supposed to go to small businesses, and they're not. Now, we have seen presidents through our lifetime really be enemies of the Small Business Administration. And it's been demonized in the last few weeks. It's suffered the biggest staff cuts and budget cuts proportionally than any other agency. It should be the most important agency in the federal government, and here's why. There are 34.7 million small businesses in America, which are 99.9% of all businesses are small businesses with less than 500 employees, okay? It would be nice if they really got 23% of federal contracts, which would mean that 77% are going to 0.1% of companies. But it's worse than that. In reality, only about 3% of federal contracts are going to legitimate small businesses. And the vast majority, 97%, are going to 0.1%. That's our major scandal that we're trying to advertise. But to what's going on right now, and you asked me about the Department of Education, yes?
Yeah, I did. I just want to clarify. I'm a small business owner, and it sounds like what are these big corporations playing games and do like a business under other entities, and they wind up getting these contracts through influence and lobbying?
I would turn the coin around, and we accuse the federal agencies, and particularly the SBA, for falsifying compliance. They're the ones who are calling these giant companies small businesses through decades of rules, regs, and procedural things, and just misclassification. Okay. And we can't help but see that they're serving these giant corporate interests. And go ahead.
Yeah. So the Department of Education, there has to be a mechanism to take care of student loans, federal student aid, other things like that. And there's, from what I've seen, they were talking about it being handled by the Treasury. But you were saying there's other agencies involved that may have to take on the burden. And if SBA is cut, are they going to play any role in this DOE cuts?
What we've seen in the last week, our understanding of the news we've seen and the reports we've seen is President Trump issued the shrinking and eventual closing of the Department of Education. And he announced that the $1.6 trillion student loan portfolio is being given to the SBA to manage. Now, the SBA just had its staff cut by 43%. Which will reduce its budget by about 50%. It already had a budget of less than $1 billion a year. And now it's going to have about a $500 million budget. Last week, news broke that the SBA mismanaged $600 million in loans, went to children under 11, people supposedly 115 years old. Okay, so it's having trouble managing $600 million in loans, and it's being given the $1.6 trillion student loan portfolio.
Now, did I
we say the SBA is being set up to fail, and we're afraid that soon we're going to see and hear that, oh, that was a mistake giving it to SBA. We're going to take all of the SBA's functions and put them in either Treasury or Commerce. This is our speculation, so that its functions get lost in the fog of bureaucracy, and it makes it that much harder to pinpoint and showcase the failure to cause 23% of federal contracts to go to our small businesses, which would be the biggest economic boom in American history.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, because I understood that some of this or all of it may wind up under the Treasury fold. Is the ASBL lobbying for that? Are you guys doing anything to push for that? Because I dealt with like SB 504 financing for small businesses looking to buy buildings and get loans and stuff like that. You know, it wasn't an easy process to get through. It took a long time. Government's never as efficient as private sector. So who's going to push to get that under the right entity to manage?
We will push for that as we can. Our primary message is always about the contracting and getting an honest allocation of federal contracts to legitimate small businesses. Our opinion is that the $1.6 trillion in student loans ought to be managed by the Treasury Department. But since it's been officially assigned to the Small Business Administration, that means its budget and its staff must be significantly expanded. It should have been anyway, in order to well facilitate the contracting program. That's the major piece we always want to put on the table. So it's speculation to think that the student loan portfolio is going to go anywhere else. Right now, it's been assigned to the SBA, and we're just raising the alarm saying, this is a recipe for disaster, and we believe it's a precursor to saying, oh, that didn't work. Let's take all of the SBA's functions, put them in other places.
Let me play it from the Trump's administration perspective. If stuff was being mismanaged, why would they continue, and not defund it or and is there any other entity that can help you guys out?
Because it's, number one, it exists. And number two, there's a law that says 23% of federal contracts should go to small businesses. And there's a laundry list of congressional investigations and reports from the SBA's Office of Inspector General documenting the fraud, waste, and abuse and chicanery and corruption whereby the SBA lets all this mislabeling and other practices that let them, if you Google right now, it'll say the SBA always exceeds the 23% target of contracts going to small businesses. Yeah. And we steer everyone to our website, asbl.com, to see the truth of what I'm saying, because it's quite controversial.
Okay. Have you seen that game going on in particular administrations, or is it through every presidential administration in your history?
At least since Ronald Reagan. Bill Clinton was the best president for small businesses, but everyone else through there, we're not so sure about. We didn't follow Bush Sr.'s term so well. We can do that history, but for all intents and purposes, every president since Reagan, Bush Sr. a question, Bill Clinton the exception, has been blatantly anti-small business, because no matter what else they espouse, David, that says this is good for small business or these little markers are up. The truth is that hundreds of billions of dollars are not being steered toward the small businesses, which would explode the number of new jobs created and balloon our economy.
Okay. During the Trump administration, outside of Reagan from 82 to 87, say, my small business, and I'm in construction, and I deal with thousands of contractors and businesses across the country. Nobody's done better than they did under the Trump administration in their small businesses. And those tax cuts were major, and that helped small business make more profits. So how would you say they're not pro-business? I only have about a minute and a half. I'll give you the closing comments here, and I just want to know.
Well, I agree that there was great job creation during Trump's first term. But I also know the many, many Americans and small business owners who got a tax bill that knocked their socks off. So the efficacy of those tax cuts, I believe that there is arguments on both sides as to the net gain that they were for small businesses. And I just want people to wrap their heads around the fact that 99.9% of all businesses in America are small businesses, and the SBA is the only agency set up to serve them, and it has always been chipped away at, targeted for attack, targeted for closing, and we predict that President Trump is going to do more to close it, shut it down, disperse it, and bye-bye the biggest economic stimulus plan in our history, 1953 Small Business Act, whereby 23% of federal contracts should be going to our small businesses.
All right. Well, I would disagree. I think that small business flourished under Donald Trump. I watched it. I lived it. But I understand your issue with the SBA itself. But I want to thank you so much for coming on. As these things, unfold, I'd like to have you back because, that's what this is all about, right? So we want to get your perspective. And I want to thank you so much for joining us. All right.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Wonderful. Have a great one. Everybody, we will be right back with more. I've got my friend Ricky Manor, who I met at a Trump rally last year. He's a scream. Don't go anywhere.
Prices are going up everywhere. Did you know that the costs associated with auto repairs cost Americans on average $7,500? And let's face it, when it comes to those costs, it's not if you'll need repairs, it's when. Now more than ever, you can't afford to be driving without Ox Car Care. Because with A+ rated Ox, you don't pay for repairs on your car, truck, or SUV. Ox pays.
I really love Ox Car Care because right now I can't afford the costly repairs, and I definitely cannot afford to be without a car.
With Ox, I can take my car to my dealership just like I always have, and they'll take care of everything.
Call the number on your screen right now for a free quote. There's no obligation to find out how low your monthly payments can be. Our Ox Car Care family of customer service reps, coverage specialists, and claims adjusters are all under one roof right here in the U.S. to ensure you always get top quality service from a caring company that stands behind everything we do. And we are the administrators of your claim. We don't farm out your policies somewhere else.
In the past, I had a really bad experience. I was passed around from phone number to phone number just to file a claim. But with Ox, it's just one phone call, one company, and they handle everything.
Today, it's just too risky not to have coverage. And Ox, they make it easy.
Call Ox now and let them pay for your auto repairs. Act now, and Ox will even include free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance.
Ox Car Care is like family. I didn't just feel like a customer, I also felt part of the family.
Just call Ox Car Care now with your make and model and get a free, no obligation instant quote. But don't wait, or it'll be too late. You need coverage before a repair is needed. Call Ox Car Care right now.
Call 1-800-691-0754 to get a free quote today. That's 1-800-691-0754. Or go online now at oxcarcare.com.
Are you having trouble hearing your TV or listening to conversations in loud spaces? Then it might be time to consider Nano hearing aids. The days of expensive hearing aids are over. Nanos are FDA-registered OTC hearing aids. They are powerful, lightweight, and simple to use, and their tiny in-ear design makes them nearly invisible. Plus, they are rechargeable, saving you hundreds of dollars on batteries. Don't be fooled by overpriced hearing aids. Prescription hearing aids could cost $3,000 or more. Nano hearing aids are only $397. But wait, we are so confident you are going to love your Nanos, we are offering $100 off through this special TV offer. Call now and get 2 CIC rechargeable hearing aids for only $297. $7. You get a free portable charging case, free 24/7 lifetime telephone support, free shipping, and a 45-day money-back guarantee.
Call 800-226-2107. That's 800-226-2107.
Welcome back. You're watching Breaking Point. Before I get to our next guest, I just wanted to add, Bruce DeTorres, who we just had on in the last block, Director of Communications for the American Small Business League, was talking about, the bureaucracy in the SBA, and with further cuts, they're not going to be able to handle, getting, the right funding for small businesses and SBA loans and financing. But they were mismanaged for a long time. And he told me in our interview that small business did the best under Bill Clinton of any president he can remember. But you know what? The truth is that, because I lived it, the 96 tax cuts from Newt Gingrich and the 104th Congress propelled the economy like a rocket ship from a recession from 1987, from the Dow Jones crisis to the housing crisis to the peace dividend and the Berlin Wall coming down. And that 8-year period was a terrible period in American history. And it wasn't until 96 when those tax cuts passed, they forced Clinton's hand, that small businesses skyrocketed. So I just want to correct the record, because I watched it. I was in business back then, and the United States flourished under Bill Clinton's last term for small business because of those tax cuts and balancing the budget. But it was Congress that forced his hand to do all that. I want to get to our next guest here, Ricky Manor. I met him at the Rock Hill rally last year on the road following the Trump campaign with Real America's Voice News. Outspoken, larger than life, Ricky Manor.
How's it going today?
I'm okay. I was just venting there because I should have came back, and talked about that with, Bruce DeTorres about small business, because I never had a better time in business than when Donald Trump was president. Because under Obama, the economy only grew like 1% per year. It was BS. And since the 2008 crisis. But anyway, let's get on to business here. Paid agitators, right? Tell us about what you do on YouTube and other, podcast style stuff. You have a big audience. Tell us about yourself, what you do, and these people are being paid to protest.
Yeah, so I noticed in the summer of 2020 that there were a lot of people, big names in the liberal movement on TikTok. Because, YouTube is where I started my foundation. But when I went on to TikTok, I noticed that there were a lot of people that were being put in front of me, that they were pushing into the algorithms, a lot of leftist content creators. And when these leftist content creators stitched your video or targeted you, then if you only just got your channel mass flagged, then you were lucky. These people would actually go set out to try to destroy your life if you were on the political opposition. If they tagged one of your videos, they were putting your name in discords full of people with malicious intent. I've seen them do things from mass flag somebody's TikTok account, which they've done that to me several times. I've seen them go after people's jobs, calling their jobs, giving their businesses false reviews on social media, challenging people to debates just so they could publicly humiliate them. And they would do this in front of these hostile audiences and try to get, just a way to get a one-up. And a lot of these big names that you saw that was doing the leftist content creating, they were at the DNC. One of them, by the name of Jolly Good Ginger, walked up on Charlie Kirk and called him a piece of,
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, and then on top of that, not only did he elevate his career on TikTok, this man actually went on to be on TED Talks. He went on to be on, he got his own, they put him on a TV show called Surviving the Raft. And I'm thinking to myself, when are all of these black people going to wake up that this man is enriching himself off of what you think is your struggle?
So, yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that for a minute here. You know that I think black people's lives improved under Donald Trump. And
definitely
the bottom 8.5% of the population had the largest income growth, which were predominantly minorities in manufacturing and other sectors. And they benefited the most, right? So haven't you seen that sea change towards Donald Trump from the minority community?
Yes, and as a matter of fact, when I was out on the road signing people up to vote, they would actually let me sit down and talk to them about certain things. And some of the things that, especially in the Black community that we were talking about, was the immigration crisis. Illegal immigrants coming into the Black neighborhoods and also squandering up the wealth that the government was just really throwing money at them. And on top of that, that was a big deal. A lot of the people that were in the Black grassroots, they never made it to become, what's what I'm looking for, platformed by, I would say, conservative media. Because if you listen to a lot of the Black grassroots online, they have nothing to do with Black Lives Matter. They don't have anything to do with all of that woke nonsense. What they focus on is how they can better their communities. So when basically a lot of them are not, Team MAGA per se. Some of them don't even profess that they're conservatives. But when you hear them talk, they have a lot of conservative talking points, especially when it comes down to illegal immigration and how the Democratic Party is setting Black people up to fail.
All right. I think we got a lot to talk about, so I'm going to have you back on. We have about 3 or 4 minutes left here. So much to cover. I wanted to ask you, are you in the trucking business or something?
Yes, I actually had to change up careers because I was in the insurance business as a private claims adjuster.
Yeah.
But because of what was going on under the Biden years, the money wasn't there anymore.
Okay. So you were in small business in the Trump administration. You did better under Trump than you did under Biden, right?
I sure did, because I like being home with my family.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife doesn't want me around, so I work a lot. But anyway, I'm just kidding. So
you must have been married more than 2 years then.
35. Yeah.
Okay.
I have to take umbrage with the previous guest that the best years, were under Clinton. Well, he's right in a way because of those tax cuts, which propelled the economy like a rocket ship. I watched more guys become millionaires from 96 to 2000 than any time in my life. But it was because of the Republican Congress. They forced his hand. Anyway, to digress here, let's talk about the shift in what you see in the vote. Tell us about, you have 180,000 followers just on YouTube, TikTok. Right?
No, TikTok and on YouTube. And on YouTube, I have like 22,000. And the reason that I stay, on YouTube more than TikTok is because my TikTok account can be erased any day as soon as the leftists find out that I have an account there. But one of the things that I saw, and a lot of people are agreeing with me on, the people that were calling me all of those racial epithets back in 2020, they're coming back apologizing to me, saying that, Ricky, we had you figured out wrong. When they were having to live under the Biden administration, when they were having to live up under these illegal immigrants that were the mass illegal immigration, when they were seeing that they were being ignored, when Kamala Harris had nothing to offer them other than shaming them to get the vote for them, it's bad, and I think that it's a good thing that the Democrats stole the election back in 2020, and I'm going to tell you why. Because now Donald Trump is up there with a Republican Congress, right? He could get some work done. If he had won back in 2020, he would have had the opposition that that would have hindered him from his efforts. And on top of that, now versus then, he has a lot more support. A lot of people are coming out that would have never admitted that they would support Donald Trump are now openly supporting him, especially after they saw the way that he was being persecuted falsely, especially after the way that they saw that their lives had changed for the worse. So it's a lot of people that are coming out, that are in support of Donald Trump, and a lot of people left the Democratic Party. And I think that there's nothing that we could say to the people that are still on the Democratic plantation, because you don't divorce those ideas overnight. Those are things that you have to live and learn.
You sound like Vince Everett Ellison there. He's a firebrand. You know, he claims the Dems are stuck between the black clergy and the churches, the NAACP, the Black Civic Associations, and the Democratic National Committee. They're hostage on a plantation. And before, it wasn't okay to leave. But that's definitely shifting. I'll never forget Jason Miller, the night of the election in North Carolina, sent me a text saying 174,000 urban voters in North Carolina stayed home for early voting. Ricky, I have to go. Tell our viewers in 20 seconds where they can follow you.
Yes, you can find me on YouTube, and that's going to be under Ricky Manor. You can't miss me on YouTube. Once you type in the name in the search engine, and you can also find me on TikTok under the same name. But I mainly do shows on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, I just got kicked off of TikTok. I opened up under another name. I'm at Dave Zere now, not David W.
You got a
Zere.
big target on your back because you got a big audience.
Yeah, well, they're terrible sometimes. All right, thank you so much, Ricky. We'll catch up.
All right, thanks for having me on.
Appreciate it. Anytime. All right, everybody, we'll be right back. I got Dave Walsh.
We always love seeing Maria from Switch to USA. How are you?
I am doing very well. I am so pumped that we are here in Long Island. Thank you.
Yeah, it's great. And I see you everywhere. I saw you in Schnecksville, Pennsylvania, Wildwood, New Jersey. Is there anywhere you don't go?
There is nowhere we don't go. Absolutely.
You've been a supporter of Real America's Voice, Breaking Point, for some time now. Tell us about Switch to USA.
Well, Switch to USA is the mom and pop American manufacturer, and we are the parallel economy for all of your essentials. And you never know when you might need another supply chain, wink, wink. So
all made on American soil by American factory workers?
Amen to that. We have to rebuild our economy, and we are doing it.
Where can our viewers find you?
Please come to switch2USA.com.
Switch2USA.com. We love Maria. So great to see you.
Thank you so much, David. We love you too. Thank you, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you, Maria.
We all want to make a difference in our country and make change, but we don't all have the ability to do so. A lot of people are busy. They can't join school boards. They can't get on borough council, but they can change where they shop. And it's just shopping. It's that simple.
We're going to link arms and we're going to shop right here at this American factory. They make the products and they're all natural and they're good for us and they're affordable. Everything's made here in the USA.
When a cyber thief transfers the title of your home out of your name, it's a race against time to stop the theft of your hard-earned equity.
Many people don't know this has happened until long after it's done.
You as the homeowner think you still own a house. 3 months later, you start getting foreclosure notices and you realize you've got 4 mortgages on your house that you didn't even know existed.
So when's the last time you checked on the title to your home? Find out if you're already a victim at HomeTitleLock.com.
What do you do when your tire goes flat and there's no air anywhere to fix that? You reach for Bullseye Pro, the smarter, faster, hands-free way to fill it up with air. Bullseye Pro is equipped with a rechargeable lithium-ion power plant. So fast, so strong, and so convenient. It's like putting the power of an air compressor in the palm of your hand. Look, you can inflate all 4 tires of your car on a single charge, or inflate a bag full of soccer balls at practice. Bullseye Pro is so advanced, it has a built-in smart pressure digital sensor that gauges and automatically stops when the set tire pressure is reached. Plus, it can be 100% hands-free. You simply set the target pressure and walk away, keeping you out of harm's way. Bullseye Pro is lightweight, durable, and powerful enough to inflate this massive monster truck tire. Plus, it has 4 ultra-bright LED lights to safely inflate at night. Bullseye Pro comes with 3 custom air nozzles on board, so you can easily inflate pool toys, exercise balls, and more. Forget driving to the gas station. Bullseye Pro is your anywhere, anytime inflation station. Call or go online now and get the complete Bullseye Pro inflation system, all for the factory direct price of just $79.99. It comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. Plus, we'll ship your entire order free. That's right, free shipping. But to really inflate this offer, we'll give you a 50% discount on a second one. You get it all. An incredible value for one low price. Call or go online to order now.
To order, call 1-800-976-9718 or go to getbullseyepro.com. So call 1-800-976-9718. That's 1-800-976-9718 or order online at getbullseyepro.com. Order now.
Did you know that thousands of authors across the country have written books and published them with Page Publishing? If you've written a book, Page can help you through the process. We cut through the confusion of the publishing world to make it easy for you. If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and ours begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and book cover art, we get you printed, distributed, and sold on Amazon, Apple iTunes, and bookstores. We'll even promote your book.
Call 1-800-319-0257. That's 1-800-319-0257.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. You're watching Breaking Point on Real America's Voice News. Thank you for joining the Rav family. I'm very excited to have back a frequent guest in the past. You see him on the War Room, one of our foremost energy experts in the country, energy consultant, and former CEO of Mitsubishi Power Systems, Dave Walsh. How are you, sir?
Hey, David. Great. Thanks for having me. Deeply appreciate it.
Anytime. I always look forward to your expertise. I've been really excited about the energy policy for Donald Trump, declaring a national energy crisis. Tell us about it.
Well, we've had some great advancements here. Secretary Wright, Energy Secretary Wright, has now opened up the fifth LNG export permitting facility. They're permitted fifth one to be built, the Venture Global CP2 LNG terminal in Cameron Parish, Louisiana. This is now the fifth. As we all know, the Biden administration had a 16-month timeout on the issuance of any new LNG export permits. We should all remember LNG is the liquefied natural gas, now the number one export product of the United States of America. We have $1 trillion trade deficit. We export $2 trillion worth of stuff, import $3 trillion. Natural gas is at the top of the heap in financially of what we export. It's massively important to the currency, balance of trade, for tax receipt purposes, and our influence globally in the State Department type affairs, being influential by being a major producer of that which matters, natural gas. So this is all very good news. Yeah. And then we've had a lot of restriction reversals by Secretary Zeldin in the EPA, which I wanted to point one out a little bit later. Just fantastic efforts by him in that capacity.
Tell us about it now.
Well, the centerpiece of what he's done, across about 22 regulations, he streamlined and is working to eliminate a lot of the nuisance ones of the last 4 years, like you must have electric water heating at home. You must have an electric stove. Yeah. Even more draconian measures Biden put in place on car fuel, gas, all being dismantled. Most importantly, the centerpiece is the dismemberment or the study of the next 3 to 4 months to study eliminating the endangerment finding. The endangerment finding was the EPA proclamation of the Obama administration, its own EPA, in its month one of his first term, declaring that CO2 was indeed a harmful greenhouse gas, despite the fact that it's 1/60th the quantity of water vapor in the air. Water vapor is a greenhouse gas, for example. It's not harmful. CO2 grows plant life. It grows crops. It doesn't affect warming. There's plenty of evidence that it doesn't. And this is at the heart of all of the efforts on funding renewables and dismantling our energy complex in the U.S. of gas, coal, oil. The fact of the endangerment finding, basically, and at the heart of wanting to eliminate gas-fired cars. The endangerment finding was all about that and attempting to decree that CO2 was somehow an evil pollutant.
Yeah, and the Clean Cars 2 waiver probably going to go away. California isn't selling electric cars, so they're not going to meet their 2035 mandate. Right. And don't forget electric heat pumps in New York, skyscrapers, which are useless.
Exactly. And very, very, very costly.
Yeah.
And we don't have, the Biden administration didn't leave us with the electrification system remaining in power generation to do any of those things. That is to significantly advance the use of electricity. You needed to create more generation. Under his administration, we were net zero in energy growth from electricity.
Yeah, and a continuous combustion cycle plant technology. Like you were telling me, the coal plants are being extended under Trump in Georgia, Wyoming, Indiana, and others.
They are. Yeah, Georgia has extended Plant Cher, Plant Bowen, Plant Wansley, and Plant Daniel in Mississippi. Southern Power also, Southern Company. Over 8,000 megawatts of power in Georgia for 5 to 10 years. In Wyoming, we've got plants reopening. Plant Gibson in Indiana by Duke Energy reopening. 1,300 megawatts. Pacific Corp opening 1,400 megawatts of extending the life of existing coal plants. Badly needed because these plants run all of the time and produce electricity all of the time, what's known as baseload continuous duty plants. So, for example, if we're going to have a server center and AI economy grow here in this country and participate in that, we've got to have a massive amount of power that runs all of the time. Same as hospitals and people need, but even more poignantly with the massive growth in AI and data centers, we've got to have these plants running all the time. They can't make it on solar. It's average nationally 4.8 hours a day, nor wind at 7 hours a day.
Yeah. So, okay. I'm very excited about natural gas exports to Asia, maybe to Europe. Are they going to suspend the Jones Act? I wanted to ask you about that. And also mini booms coming in Oklahoma, maybe Wyoming in the near future. What do you say?
Well, Wyoming is full of natural gas. And also rare earths and critical materials for yellowcake, for uranium supply. You know, we used to be self-sufficient in uranium supply in this country in 1992, as recent as 1992. Now remain 52% dependent on Russia, Kazakhstan, and Uzbekistan. We're loaded with yellowcake in Utah, Wyoming, Colorado, and the far west. We can get that position back. Wyoming has ginormous natural gas reserves, can easily power California. Even if California doesn't want to build generating plants in its own state, we can build them in Colorado and Wyoming with Wyoming gas, transfer power to California. We've got people living there. They matter to us. They're Americans. So even if the state government doesn't want power plants, Wyoming stands ready to support with power and energy for the country. They're blessed with huge resource, also of coal. So very, very happy to see some of the coal plants being extended are happening there, and looking at AI and data centers locating there too, and in Texas, where we have abundant natural gas and oil to rely on enough energy to run these large data centers. Also. Yeah.
Okay. So another incredible development going on, in my opinion, like in Texas and at Oak Ridge, Tennessee, 1 to 35 megawatt small modular buried nuclear reactors. That's going to help a lot of businesses and industry, right?
Yeah, in time. That's a 10 to 15 year thing away, given the regulatory environment of the NRC for years now, making nuclear massively too expensive to build. Those technologies will mean a great deal to us. They have in the past. Conventional large nuclear power plants, we've got 100 of them operating. Oh, good news there, too. We've got about 4 on the books to be reopened between the Palisades Michigan one, the Diablo Canyon one kept open. Dwayne Arnold, now FPL, we're talking about Iowa restarting. And fortunately, the VE Summer plant in South Carolina, but possibly being finished. So conventional nuclear, yes. The SMRs are out there a ways. So in terms of addressing the current next 5 to 10 year energy crisis, probably important to develop. And this administration is continuing strongly with that, fortunately, but we probably won't see a lot of that in the next 5 to 10 years. The thing for the next 5 to 10 years is full use of our abundant natural gas resource to create the most cost-effective electricity that we can possibly create. That's really going to be the answer for the next 5 to 10 years. And keeping coal plants from closing. No more closed coal plants. That's got to be, and it is, fortunately, it's turning around. We're seeing a whole bunch restart and a whole bunch being life extended now. They're essentially necessary because they run all of the time.
Yeah, I understand about 16% of our plants are run by coal at this time. Is that right?
Yeah, we were just a few years ago, 22% coal dependent for electric power when Biden took over. We're down to 16%. With the restarts, though, a few of these and then the life extensions, we could be back to 18, 19%. The benefit of it is you need a diversified energy portfolio. You need all things. We have abundant coal in this country. We have 300 years worth of coal. We have 400 years worth of natural gas. We've got to have a lot of natural gas, a lot of coal, a lot of nuclear power, some renewables, up to 10% solar, wind. Fine, that's about where we are. Enough. Solar is 6 times more expensive than combined cycle natural gas. We really need to look hard at ending the incentives on that, because all we're doing is handing ratepayers far higher bills as we continue to build that out.
All right. So in closing, I understand, I hear talk that oil could go as low as $50 a barrel, still permitting the frackers through AI and other advancements in technology to extrapolate energy and survive, right? Do you think oil is going to go down that low?
Yeah, I mean, the Interior Secretary took great steps in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge being opened up. 1.6 million acres, ANWR, we've called it, being now able, and the court supported that 2 days ago, by the way.
Yes.
That's a legitimate, the Trump administration had rightfully declared that land was eligible to be used for oil and gas production. So it looks like that's going to stick. That's a great thing. We've seen now gas prices at the pump down about 4.5% from a year ago already. Production is back up well over 13 million barrels a day. So and then also, globally, there's some geopolitics going on. Unwittingly, Russia and China cross-collaborated to kneecap OPEC by dumping oil globally. Sure. We've got a global price, really ballpark $58 a barrel already, due to the extensive trade Russia has engaged in with our supposed allies in Western Europe that has continued at low prices, with India, with Turkey, and China at sub $60 a barrel. So, it's way possible with our overproduction and global pricing already being, because of those transactions, under $60. We're going to get to mid-50s per barrel.
And there's a glut in the international oil markets of oil, right? Okay.
And you're liable to see David gas at $250 possibly.
Wow.
Way possible. Great.
That's great. And we even see France pushing back against the EU climate agenda, building 6 new nuclear reactors. We have to go. Dave, where can people follow you?
You can follow me on Getter, True Social, and X at Dave Walsh Energy.
Always appreciate your insight, and thank you so much for coming back on.
Okay. Bye-bye, Dave.
Bye, Dave. All right, everybody, thank you for watching Breaking Point on Real America's Voice News. I got a great show again for you next week. And go out there, get involved in your community. And today, there's protests all over the world against Tesla dealerships. Go down and counter-protest and make sure these people aren't idiots. Thank you. Bye.
Cooking rice just isn't nice. No matter how hard you try, it always comes out stuck on and dry. Until now.
Hi, Chef Daniel Green here with Rice Robot, the 1, 2, 3 rice cooker.
It's the easiest way to make fluffy, delicious rice every time.
Watch. 1, add the white cup for rice. 2, add the blue cup for water. 3, click it and let Rice Robot perfectly cook it.
White, brown, jasmine, pilaf, basmati, even sushi rice, all cooked just right. The secret is perfect cook technology that surrounds the rice with controlled heat for even cooking. Then Rice Robot senses when it's done, auto stops, and keeps it warm to serve.
Rice Robot's so smart it won't burn, overcook, or undercook, guaranteed.
Watch this. Add rice, water, olive oil, salt, 1 large tomato in the center. Click it, cook it, and look, amazing Mediterranean rice that's just bursting with flavor. But how about an egg fried chicken rice meal for the whole family in just minutes?
And rice is just the beginning. Make mac and cheese, frittatas, oatmeals, soups and stews, even ramen dishes. For a healthier choice, make quinoa, couscous, or cauliflower rice.
Throw in turkey, rice, vegetables, potatoes, broth, and bring leftovers back to life.
Elevate your party with a melty queso spinach or a s'mores dessert dip. Rice Robot is perfect for apartments, dorm rooms, and RVs. And with a ceramic, ultra non-stick interior, cleanup's a breeze.
Call or go online now and get the complete Rice Robot cooking system with the steamer tray and 1, 2, 3 recipe guide, all for the special TV discount price of just $39.99. It comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. We'll even ship your entire order free. You get it all, an incredible value for one low price. Order now.
To order, call 1-800-575-5956 or go to buyricerobot.com. So call 1-800-575-5956 or order online at buyricerobot.com today.
Are you having trouble